All right, we take ANC will today commemorate the life and legacy of Albertina Sisulu through a series of activities led by Party Secretary General Fikile Mbalula and other officials. Activities include a wreath-laying ceremony, a cleanup and a food security campaign, as well as a memorial lecture to honor her contribution as a nurse, an activist and leader within the ANC Women's League. The commemoration will reflect on her dedication to the liberation of South Africa, her role in advancing women's rights and her tireless service to communities across the nation. Newzroom Africa's Juniour Khumalo is at the Nuclear Cemetery in Johannesburg and joins us now live. Juniour, good morning to you once again. I imagine that some of the ANC representatives are already there to get themselves ready for the wreath-laying ceremony.
Indeed, Naledi, we did see the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula making his way here to the Nuclear Cemetery. We also saw the ANC's National Chairperson, Gwede Mantashe, the Premier of the province, Panyaza Lesufi as well, and a number of other dignitaries have started making their way. But it's very windy here. I'll just ask my colleague to pan to my right and just show you some of the damage that has been made basically by the wind. This setup here has been blown away just a few minutes ago, so that is part of the challenges that the ANC is just trying to deal with right now before these proceedings start. But now I'm going to be joined by the ANC's national spokesperson, Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri. Thank you so much, Mahlengi, for joining us. You are here as the ANC celebrating a stalwart, a true stalwart of the ANC. Tell us about some of the things that Umama Albertina Sisulu contributed to the liberation struggle and the years after attaining democracy.
Thank you very much, Junior. Today, we really are memorializing one of the pioneers, one of our stalwarts in the liberation struggle, Umama Nontsikelelo Albertina Sisulu, after whom a number of public institutions and facilities are named, precisely for the role that she played in the struggle, in her own right, as well as alongside many other women such as Lillian Ngoyi, such as Helen Joseph, such as Charlotte Maxeke, Nomzamo Winnie Mandela. She forms part of that illustrious individuals that have done a lot. Firstly, to achieve women's emancipation, which is an ongoing effort and struggle, but more importantly, as a community worker, particularly a community health worker, which is why today one of the things that we're going to be doing as part of being dutiful to memory is to visit places in and around Soweto in the south of Johannesburg, where he did a lot of community work.
Okay. You spoke about a lot of powerful women, Helen Josephs, Lillian Ngoyi. A lot of questions have been asked, especially within the ANC. When are we going to see such strong women getting the opportunity to either lead the ANC or be the deputy president or chairperson? Because we always see the ANC basically giving positions such as deputy secretary to most of the women in the ANC. When are we going to likely see such developments happen?
Well, I mean, society is well aware of the strides that have been made to ensure both descriptive as well as substantive representation of women, whether it's in politics, formal politics, whether it is in public institutions, as well as whether it's in corporate South Africa. A lot of strides have been made. Back to the ANC. The ANC is a reflection of society. It's a microcosm of society. So the ANC must lead in as far as making sure that women are not just represented in a token fashion, but are represented even where it matters the most or where decision-making matters the most. And I think we are getting there. We have premiers who are women. We have provincial secretaries of the ANC who are women who've been actually in those roles for quite a long time. So some strides have been made. Look at the number of ministers that we do have, young and old, intergenerationally. But I agree with you that that is why I said the gender struggle is a continuum. But we do also want to talk about Mama Sisulu within the gender struggle as well as in his own right as a cadre. He's the first, the former deputy president, of the United Democratic Front. A very senior role that at the time it was not thought of that a woman will actually lead the United Democratic Front at a very difficult time of oppression and suppression. She was detained. She went through a lot, worked in the underground to build the structures alongside her peers and her other comrades. And so here we're talking about someone who really was a full-own cadre in her own right.
And just speaking about premiers, some premiers being women, there are allegations that have been leveled against the premier of the Free State. Is the ANC dealing with those allegations?
Yes, the ANC is dealing with those allegations. The Secretary General, as guided by the Constitution, requested for a report from the province, both from the Premier herself as well as from the leadership of the ANC in the Free State. Those reports are now with the Secretary General, and naturally they've got to be processed, and any allegations have got to be tested. Their veracity has got to be tested, and I think that is where we are at this point. I think it is very clear that the ANC has been acting with a lot of haste, required haste, where instances of corruption that involve or purportedly involve our leaders have got to be looked at. The step-aside policy is kicking in many instances, I think, as you would have seen last week. And so we're confident that even with this matter, the organization, including particularly law enforcement agencies, will get to the bottom of it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mahlengi. That is the ANC's national spokesperson, Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri, also touching on that issue of the Free State Premier who has been accused of corruption. We saw those reports surfacing over the weekend, and she's saying that the ANC is actually dealing with these matters. We will try at a later stage to try and get some of the family members, because we know that Albertina Sisulu, some of her children, have also been heavily involved in politics, including Lindiwe Sisulu, who was a minister in various portfolios, as well as Max Sisulu, who was the Speaker of the National Assembly for many, many years, Naledi.
Yeah, and of course, as those proceedings kick off, we'll bring them to you live. Juniour, Khumalo, they're keeping a close eye on things for us. All right.